Patrick Cantley tied for first with 10 under par. Liam Cohen was ranked 5th in Ted Wynn's 2026 Top 10 Offensive Play Caller ranking. It's 87 degrees at 6 o'clock. Time and tip brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Will officially end for yours truly, my colleagues, and more importantly, your Jacksonville Jaguars. On Sunday, there are still some simple people out there who look at the calendar and say, wait a minute, Ballou. The week actually begins on Sunday. If you subscribe to that, if you believe in that, well, you're wrong. I was going to say we can no longer be friends, but I know you're probably going to go the way of religion and say that is why they created the calendar. I don't care. You nurse the hangover on a Sunday. You get through it on a Sunday. And then you wake up on Monday morning and it starts a brand new spanking week. So it wraps up Sunday. I'll say this. This is about as good of a start as you could expect for this football team. And I walk around the building. I say to myself, Ballou, it's like the brain is both sides, the id, the super ego, the ego. Okay. All the way, somehow the brainstem gets involved. Then all of a sudden the heart gets involved. The head gets involved. The gut really doesn't. I think the gut really only comes into play in the world of college football. That's just my opinion. That's another story for another day. But I'm walking around the building, and I'm like, don't do it. Stop! Don't do it. Don't brag. Don't talk about how great this football team is, because you do it all the time. All right? And you had Blaine Gabbert with a bust based on what he did in training camp. Hell, a year ago at this time, I'll put up my hand. I said Diami Brown was having a great camp. I actually thought going back a couple of years ago, I can't even think of his name now. Who did they make the trade for? Wide receiver from Atlanta, got suspended for Calvin Ridley. See, now the older I get, sometimes it just takes me an extra second. I got to think it out. Calvin Ridley had arguably one of the greatest wide receiver performances historically right here in Jacksonville. And we saw what he ended up doing during the regular season. So I talk myself through it all the time. And then when push comes to shove, here we go. I can only tell you what I saw. And I want to preface that by saying, folks, I have 20/20 eyes. Thank you to the good folks at Shmunez Vision, where you should go to get your eyes checked as well. There's a lot of spirit in this camp. There's no plays off in this camp. Maybe the only complaint I would have is today it seemed like maybe late during team activity got a little sloppy. We saw a few penalties, both offensively and defensively. Nothing compared to what we saw a year ago, okay? And, that was kind of expected with a brand new everything, including implementing that new offense, implementing that new defense, and you had first-time everything, right? Head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, James Gladstone, Tony Baselli. It was all a bunch of firsts. That's no longer. I'm not saying they're grizzled veterans. But based on 3 days, I feel very comfortable about what I said all season long or during the offseason. This is a better football team. This is a better roster than a year ago. Okay. Now, will that reflect in a better record? Right now, 13-4, I would say no way. And that's for several reasons. Number one, you're playing a first place schedule. Number two, you're not going to sneak up on anyone, okay? And number three, perhaps most importantly, you're only playing 6 games here. I mean, you're going on the road, for 11 games? You will not be playing in Jacksonville, and that's very difficult. Although certainly last year, you can make the point they were road warriors. All right, the Travis Hunter PI in Cincinnati, the Chuma Edoga hands to the face in Houston, up 19 points in the fourth quarter. You erase that type of stuff. They were nearly flawless on the road outside of just getting destroyed in London. But you know that, and I know that, even though it's 700,000 miles away from Duval, that is a home game for the Jaguars. All right, it's a great start. We're going to go through it all today. I'm also going to get into something I want to do weekly here throughout training camp, kind of give you a good and bad. And I'm struggling for the bad, all right? And I'm going to get to that in a little bit. Maybe we'll say the weather on Thursday would be the bad. With the lightning in the area, still got to tip the cap to those Jaguars fans who hung out. Beautiful facility at the Miller Electric Center, but talk about diehards with them working indoors. Today was anything like that. It was 2 hours worth outdoors, packed place watching them play. And I thought for a third consecutive day, it wasn't nearly as hot as it could be and not nearly as hot as it will be. All right? So there it is. We got a lot to do. I logged on. I was watching some late night baseball, watching the Red Sox, and I was flipping around. A lot of times I listen to music up in the bar. The 7-year-old was asleep early. The GF fell asleep early. So I went upstairs to play. Yeah. I think the older I get, the more I actually enjoy time with myself. Is that weird? I shared a bedroom till I was freaking 22. All right. I look at all of you plush and everything you got. You order $9 IPAs for crying out loud. I didn't have a car till I was 22. I shared a room at Florida State. Shared a room until I was 22. So I was always surrounded by people, right? Now I kind of like alone time. It's kind of cool. So I go to the NFL Network, and they're previewing the Jaguars. This was something that was there that they have, I guess, stored where you can, or archived. And, my old buddy Bob Berger, who I worked with at 101 Sports and Sporting News Radio in Chicago, was the host. And then you have the former UNF tennis coach, Todd Haley, all right, providing the analysis. Todd Haley's burned so many bridges. He's like the Keith Olbermann of former coordinators. He can't even get a job. He didn't burn a bridge. He freaking nuclear destroys the bridge. There's no coming back after Haley leaves. But anyway, it was the most obvious, not in tune, 1 + 1 = 2. Oh, I don't know why they let ETN go. I don't know why they let Devin Lloyd go. They didn't replace him with anyone. This is a major mistake. They reached on the draft. I mean, it was just one after another, after another, after another. And I listened to it because I know both guys. And I learned nothing. Absolutely nothing. And again, where I went with it was, I feel Cohen's comments that he made, right? That's gone viral now about going to the NFL Network. He's right. And I know for the most part, the listeners here, you trust the local media. You don't have to like the local media. Okay, that's fine. But I think you trust the local media because that's another example on NFL radio where these guys, and Berger basically put it on a tee for Haley. But Berger, actually, it wasn't Bob Berger. It was Bruce Murray. Those two worked together on weekends when I was in Chicago. Bob Berger, Bruce Murray. It was Bruce Murray, the host of NFL radio. And he set it up. Yeah, he basically put it on the table and allowed Haley to just give his opinion. And I'm like, man, if you're listening to this in Portland, Oregon, or if you're listening to this in Portland, Maine, you're thinking the Jaguars just completely crap themselves during the offseason. Okay, so I hear negative after negative after negative after negative. And then when they're done, they say, all right, we'll continue. We'll look at the schedule next, plus the total over under. Again, we have the Jaguars ranked as the fourth best team in the NFL. I mean, if they did not say that, if I had gotten out early, I would have thought they had the Jaguars in the high teens as a team that absolutely had no shot of making it back to the playoffs, but it was the exact opposite. They had them ranked fourth overall. Anyway, I don't know how I got off on that, but I just found that somewhat intriguing late last night. All right, early this morning, another very good day. I do want to highlight this before I get to other things that I'm glad Jacoby Myers had a big time day because he did not shine on Wednesday or Thursday. There were drops. I'm not, I don't know if I even want to say anything more than that. It just seemed like maybe he's not as quick as the rookies, right? And he's not as quick as Thomas Jr., who had another very good day today. Brian Thomas Jr. really shows up late in practice. We saw that Thursday with 2 late ones, including 1 touchdown down the sideline. I think today he had 2, maybe 3 touchdowns. All right, a lot of red zone work today for the Jaguars. Parker Washington got a really good look at him today with some other reporters. Man, his lower body. And I don't know how I missed this during the offseason workouts, but it just stuck out to me today. The lower body of Parker Washington, man, his calves. I mean, we're talking Robert Newhouse here. And I know Robert Newhouse was more about the thighs, right? Earl Campbell, Robert Newhouse, those were the days of the thighs. Robert Newhouse, oh, by the way, back when football actually did have a halfback. If you're like younger than like, let's say 28, 27, you're like a halfback. What the hell is a halfback? Well, it's kind of like a middle guard, or maybe even a monster back. The obscure defense that I actually played growing up in the 80s in the suburbs of Boston. But I got to look at, those legs. I'm like, and he's just, he may be the best player in camp, Parker Washington. I think that's safe to say that, and again, it's only 3 practices in, but this is all I got. I'm in real time. I'm in right now time, and that's all I got. But with Jacoby Myers, he responded today, made a sensational, diving grab back of the end zone on a tight pass from Parker. And the reason why I say that is because I'm a very sensitive person. And last year, I came in here practice after practice after practice after practice, and I told you that Brian Thomas Jr. was struggling. And a lot of you people out there did not want to hear it. A lot of people out there were playing the role of, Ballou, you're just a bitter child, right? From Boston. You're just a bitter child, will go. And I'm like, I'm not a bitter child. I saw that in my rear view mirror when I was freaking 18 years of age. I've been here, and this is where I'm going to have my last breath. Brian Thomas Jr. did struggle last year, and he took it with him into the regular season. I didn't want to get ahead of myself, and this was a veteran in Myers, but I'm glad he really did respond today in day 3. So for 2 days, you can say, okay, not a great start for Jacoby Myers, but he certainly did what was expected out of him today. We'll see if that continues coming up on Sunday. Jarian Jones was the best player on the field today. And again, this becomes a pleasant problem. Travis Hunter on one side, Buster Brown on the other. Jordan Lewis performing well. He's back. Didn't work much, if at all, during the offseason. Had a couple of pass breakups on Thursday. Jarian Jones today, 2 picks, 2 PBUs. His pick on Trevor Lawrence was the play of the day. And as a matter of fact, it's viral. It's out there. You can see it. I think it's Jaguars.com, which does have it for you. And, you know, this isn't rare. Jarian Jones has always had good camps. And we all remember what happened last year at this time. I know I, for one, as a matter of fact, I don't think anyone was aware of it. We didn't even know the reasoning as to why this team went out and brought in Jones. You're like, wait a minute, you gotta, or excuse me, brought in Lewis, Jordan Lewis, because you're like, well, you got a young nickel. And then it came out that Jarian Jones wanted to go to the outside, right? Remember that? Well, he did, and he struggled. You know, he absolutely struggled. And then he was benched. I mean, it was a period about midway through the season where he got almost no defensive snaps. And then because of the injury, he went back to the slot and the nickel and really played great football down the stretch. Well, this is such a pleasant problem, okay? We just talked about it with Hayes and Ryan about how you got the Branson Combs, Ventrell Miller competition. All of a sudden, once again, you've got competition with Jarian Jones and with Jordan Lewis. Now, there's a lot of things that you can do with that, right? I mean, maybe the game plan was for this, and this defensively for Travis Hunter, depending on the score of the game or what is happening. Maybe you can take a series off for Hunter and have him go to offense because maybe Lewis can be on the edge or be in the boundary and have Lewis back in the slot. There's just very interchangeable is this football and a lot of stuff we've seen. Today I noticed, we'll talk about the tackles later, but they were flipping the edge a little bit where, for the most part, it's always been Allen on the right and Walker on the left, except for a few times late last year when they moved Walker inside at tackle. And, of course, they were very productive, including against Buffalo when they did that. I'm not going to get deep into anything that they're doing as far as schemes offensively and defensively out of respect for the organization, but it was pretty cool to see that today as well. So a lot of movement here, a lot of good things happening, and just thrilled. Just absolutely thrilled to be with you on a Friday night. All right, here's the deal. Here is the deal. BJ Green is coming up. I really like this young kid. I do. I mean, he's like I kind of want to say he's like a Muhammad Ali on the cusp of popping. If this hits, you're going to love this guy. You are. His attitude, his demeanor, his directness. I mean, he's third person. He's in the third person. I'm like, this is an undrafted rookie free agent who what do you have? 1 sack a year ago? Maybe 2. I'll look at it. And he's in the third. I'm like, this is awesome. All right. And then to hear what Liam Cohen said about him, for me today was one of the really special parts of this Friday. So I know there's a great deal of uncertainty when it comes to Green, right? I'm still one of those who absolutely subscribes to the theory that in the month of August, this team has to bring in a veteran defensive end. Okay? They have to. And we'll see. All right? Anyway, that's coming up in a little bit as well. All right, let me tell you about Shmunez Vision. 20/20 eyes, how does that sound? Nasty driving, right? The sun goes down, rain, sideways. You bothered by lights. You ever notice that when you're driving, all of a sudden you're like, does that guy have his brights on? Maybe That's common. Maybe it's a cataract situation. Now, you can get ahead of this. You may not need surgery. There could be a simple remedy. There's a lot of misinformation that's out there when it comes to cataract. If surgery is needed, well, guess what? 37 plus years worth of experience with Dr. Neo Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, and Dr. John Hunt. So if you want 2020, laser eye surgery as well, that would certainly be a want. Imagine the rest of your days never having to look for your readers, to, fall asleep with your contacts. It's just incredible what that would be like. I wish I was a candidate for laser eye surgery. I am not. Check him out online. Just go to Shmunez Vision. As well, you can get the very latest as far as testimonials. Go to Instagram and Shmunez Vision as well. All right, we got a ton to do tonight. Some good and bad coming up. Take you through today's practice. You're going to hear from BJ Green, second year edge from Colorado, and Liam Cohen. It's all coming up on Into the Night.
What do you think Dan and Jeff would be doing if they were never hired at 1010XL?
Let's get rocking with a guitar in our hands and rocking our hearts.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
Maybe even lasers.
Mornings on 1010XL.
And smoke machines.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Rock the Country, a festival for the people. Coming to the Florida Horse Park in Ocala, Florida, August 28th and 29th, 2026, with Brooks and Dunn, and Blake Shelton, John Party, plus Lauren Alina, Shenandoah, Mark Chestnut, and many more. Get your tickets now at rockthecountry.com. Every championship season starts with summer sweat.
Training camp weeds out the boys from the men.
Every time something you need to know happens at training camp, you'll hear about it on 1010XL.
This is your playbook.
Presented by Green Acres Sporting Goods.
Hey, I'll be home in about 10 minutes. Actually, make it 8.
Hey, Mom. Yep, I'm walking home now. Mom, I'm trying to cross, but I don't think this driver sees me. No, they're driving too fast. Mom!
Speeding catches up with you. Early, on time, a little late, just get there safely. A message from the Florida Department of Transportation's Target Zero initiative.
PGA Tour star Ricky Fowler.
If you want to be the best, you have to practice with the best. That's why I had Southwest Greens install and maintain my putting green, and my synthetic lawn, and my chipping area, and my practice bunker area, and my bocce ball court, and our pole vaulting area.
Southwest Greens is the world's premier manufacturer and installer of putting greens, synthetic grass, chipping areas, practice bunkers, and just about anything else you want to do in your yard.
It's Southwest Greens.
Log on to southwestgreensofjacksonville.com to see what they can do to your backyard.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership costs. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
Looking for a real career with great pay and full benefits? Prosser here for Julington Creek Pest Control. As a growing, family-owned company that cares about its employees, they're hiring lawn technicians in the Jacksonville area. No experience required. This is a salaried position with top industry pay, full benefits, a 401k match, and paid training. Apply today at JulingtonCreekPestControl.com. Julington Creek Pest Control, our family serving yours since 1984.
Equal opportunity employer.
Hurricane season is here, and now is the time to make sure your property is ready. Weak, damaged, or overgrown trees can become a serious hazard when storms move in. Trust the experts at Lucas Tree Service with over 45 years of experience for professional tree trimming, removal, and storm preparation. Don't wait until a storm is on its way. Schedule your tree assessment today at lucastreeservice.com.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars off tomorrow. Back at it Sunday morning. Then all next week. And I think we're, about a week away, maybe 8 days away, actually, from the Hall of Fame football game. So you're going to start seeing stuff on the tube, which is pretty cool. We'll get into Tony Romo a little bit later. This is becoming an interesting story. He's on leave. How come all the high-priced guys get paid on leave? Where if you're in nothing and you really need the cash, you don't get paid. It's kind of like restaurants that only give the wealthy, only give the celebrities the free meals. What about the people that really need a free meal? Man, sometimes life isn't fair. I would agree with that 100%. But they owe him $70 million. I'm just wondering, there's been a lot of complaints recently about Romo, how, that kind of, all that stuff that was warm and fuzzy. It's a pass, Jim. Jim, it's going to be a pass unless they decide to run. It's worn off. And if you have cause, can you fire him? Save the $70 million. Make a run at someone else. Tell you who they should make a run at. He's under contract. Should make a run at Jameis Winston. There's a guy who's going to make although he may be better as a studio analyst type. Anyway, that's later. Let's get to the Jaguars. Tonight's show brought to you by the Alexander Law Practice. We will get there in just a couple of minutes. Okay, let's begin with Liam Cohen. I think it was our friend Ryan O'Halloran who asked about BJ Green. So what you're going to hear is Cohen's answer to that, then my question back to Cohen and his response as well. If you don't know an awful lot about BJ Green, you're going to learn more right here by listening to Liam Cohen.
BJ has done a great job. I think something that we have been stressing with him is the run game. Like his get off in the pass rush, we all appreciate. We got to work on the top of rush with him a little bit more, but his ability so far, especially the last 2 days of setting vertical edges in the run game, that's been something. I mean, you look at him and you're like, man, but he's explosive. He can get underneath your pads. He's kind of a problem for tight ends, especially at the point of attack when he can get underneath them. I've been very pleased with him. He asked me today, he's like, what does it take to get thrown out of practice? And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, no, not in a bad way. He's like, in a way that I'm disrupting to the point where you have to take, that's right. So, he's on his mind in terms of wanting to take the next step, right? And we were laughing. It was a cool moment, but you could tell BJ wants to make an impact on this team. He's worked his tail off to get to this point, and we're seeing it every day.
Couple more. BJ Green, I just spoke with him, and he says, I'm not even close to arriving yet.
Yeah.
Is that rare to see a second-year guy come out and say, I haven't even tapped my potential?
Yeah, but he's so spot on. We all believe that there's something in there that is going to continue to show itself and reveal itself. And he's playing with a lot of confidence right now. He knows what he's doing more than he ever did. And I've just been so impressed with him specifically in the run game. I mean, that's when we start throwing it more and we get into more of those situations, and especially preseason games when we can see him like we did against Miami last year, show up in a good way. But it's been setting edges in the run game and using his hands. Like he's a guy that uses the technique. Oh, I'm not saying to a T, but he does. Like, he'll do exactly what you say. You say, go run through that wall. He's going to go, which one? You know, but he uses the proper technique and fundamentals, and he's violent. And that's all really what you can ask for as a coach.
All right, that was Liam Cohen on BJ Green the second. Played in 14 games a year ago. Had 2 sacks, 6 solo tackles, 9 assists, 15 total. And again, my early opinion on him was a guy who would get after the quarterback, right? Used for that very reason. Well, absolutely, his ability to also defend the run is a big part of the process here. 6'1", 270. He's looked very good so far in camp. We're actually going to play that interview for you coming up in just a little bit after the break. But if he can really play, all right, that eliminates absolutely the biggest question mark on defense, right? They were number 1 against the run a year ago, and I know you can cook those books and say, well, Jacksonville had such a lead that teams were forced to pass, so there weren't as many rushing attempts against that number 1 ranked rushing defense. Still, they had that. They were monsters last year in the takeaway game. I think they went from 9 to 31 in just one season. And that may have been the best part of what the defense did. Still some things they have to get better at, right? Only 32 sacks. Now, depending on which data you use, they created a lot of pressures, but they didn't get home, and they have to. And I still think they're going to bring in a veteran edge in the month of August. I really do. But whether it's BJ Green or any one of these young guys, if you can get it from one of them, especially at the price that you're paying them, just think about where this football team will be. And again, we're going to play this in a minute. Confidence-wise, I mean, Green, no doubt, is the guy. He just oozes with it, and I'm looking forward to you being able to hear what he said a little bit earlier today. But he's got to prove it. You know, he's undrafted. Coming out of Colorado, he made the team a year ago, which, you know, at this particular time, this early into camp, I don't think that I really saw. It wasn't until later, until things really got rolling, where that ended up happening. But, you know, it's right there in front of him. Let's see. Let me just pull this up real quick for you. Let's see here. BJ Green. Remember, undrafted free agents, they're 3-year contracts. Unlike drafted players, where the rookie contract for those who were drafted are 4 years. Of course, the team gets a 5th year only option on first-round picks. This year, his base salary's $1 million. Okay? His cap figure is just a smidge over $1 million, okay? Think of the amount of money that is being thrown around the NFL. Look at the deal that Chris Olave got yesterday. For $1 million, let's say you can get 5 sacks. Let's just say you can get 5.5, 6 sacks, and he doesn't hurt them against the run. $1 million. That all of a sudden becomes just absolutely out of this world. We don't look at often bottom of the roster guys. I'm not talking about as far as production. I'm talking about as far as money that they're making. All right. And, you know, the same thing would apply here to Danny Strigow. The same thing would apply to some late draft picks like Ray Lane and LaQuinn Allen Jr., and these guys don't cost anything. Right? That's why you hear all the time, trade this guy. Even getting back to the Brian Thomas Jr. trade during the offseason. Why would you trade Brian Thomas Jr.? He's under a rookie contract. You see what the going wage is for wide receivers right now. And every day that goes by, I think it's going to be much more cash coming in for Parker Washington. Okay. You see it and I see it, and it's awful no matter where you go. I'm looking at this prorated signing bonus, BJ Green. $833. I mean, this is outstanding. You got a base salary of $1 million. Let me see if I can read this. Let me see. Here we go. His salary cap is just over $1 million. His cash payout is just over $1 million. Contract value is $2.96 million over 3 years. The fully guaranteed money is $82,500. Is his fully guaranteed contract. That includes what he did last year. Okay. So his contract ranking is 259th in the NFL out of 293 along the defensive line. So there you have it. Anyway, no matter where you go, you see bad driving, just really poor driving, selfish driving. And oftentimes you're the victim on the other side, right? If that is the case, ladies and gentlemen, and you have been injured, your car is totaled, I want to tell you about the Alexander Law Practice. Rick Alexander's been doing this his entire professional life. He is involved with every single one of his clients, okay? And here's what's most important. It's going to cost you nothing. There is no retainer fee. There is no, sit-down fee, consultation fee. You're never going to come out of pocket. Make sure you take advantage of this. Once again, you're never going to come out of pocket. If you have been injured or you're aware of someone out there, a friend, a colleague, family member, make sure they are aware of the Alexander Law Practice. All right, let's hear from BJ Green. We'll do that coming up on the other side. This is Into the Night.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care. Official dental partner of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp.
Yeah, I know how awful it is to get injured, but not like my friend Tom who got rear-ended last year. Tom McManus here. Morgan & Morgan can help you. They're the largest personal injury law firm in the nation. 1,000 lawyers, 100 offices across the nation, and over $30 billion recovered. And guess what? They don't get a single penny unless you do. A proven track record with backup. Hard to find these days, but not with Morgan & Morgan. For the people, that's right. Get injured due to someone's neglect, get paid. Dial Pound Law or check out forthepeople.com.
Flame Broiler has a new limited-time favorite, Korean short ribs. They marinate tender, boneless short ribs in the Lee family authentic Korean kalbi recipe. Charbroil them for smoky flavor. Then top them with tangy, sweet cucumber kimchi. Enjoy them in a bowl or on a plate. Order today in store or on the Flame Broiler app before they're gone. Flame Broiler, Korean short ribs. Limited time only. Order now on the Flame Broiler app or stop in today. But don't wait. Korean short ribs are only here for a limited time.
The doctors at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists have resolved my hip and foot issues, and I'm back to training for the 2028 Olympics in LA. This is Garrett Scantling, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is David Garrard. Following my knee surgeries and recovery, I'm continuing to feel great and would recommend Southeast Orthopedic to anyone who's experiencing orthopedic pain.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hey, Googans, Hicken here. You want to win wings from Mr. Chubby's or tacos from Taco Lou? How about some chocolate from Peterbook? All we need you to do is tell us more about you by filling out the 1010 listener survey at 1010XL.com. What kind of vehicles do you drive? Are you a business owner? What part of 1010XL do you like the most? We want to get to know you better so we can serve you better. Go to 1010XL.com, fill out the survey, and you could be a winner.
Replacing windows can be a big investment, and you deserve straight answers. Well, at Cash Building Material, I got them. Prosser here. Cash Building Material explain my options, answer my questions, and help me find windows that fit my home and my budget. No pressure, just honest advice. And they'll do the same for you. So before you buy windows or doors, get a cash quote. Search Cash Building Material and click on their replacements tab. Cash Building Material. Windows and doors done right.
Summertime is here, and that means it's grilling season. Now, before you overpay at the big box stores, make a stop at Houston's Meat Company on Main Street in Jacksonville. For more than 50 years, Houston's has been Jacksonville's local butcher shop, serving up quality meats, incredible prices, and the kind of service you just can't find at the grocery chain. Steaks, burgers, chicken, ribs, whatever's on the grill this weekend, Houston's has you covered. Shop local, grill better. Follow Houston's Meats on social for updated weekly specials.
Tom McManus here for Armstrong Fence Company, a locally owned First Coast business for nearly 20 years. Hurricane season is here. Don't wait for the first storm warning. The fence is your first line of defense. Loose boards, weak posts, or damage can turn into big problems when high winds come around. Armstrong Fence Company handles repairs and builds from stadiums to backyards. Get a pre-storm fence check today. Call Armstrong Fence Company or search online. Armstrong Fence Company. Yeah, we did the fence.
Hicken here. Experience crystal clear vision with the Eye Associates, formerly Bow 9 Associates, Schneider Eye and Wellness Center, and Janet Betchkel, MD, Jacksonville's leader in advanced eye care. From routine eye exams to specialized vision care, their experienced team dedicated to improving and preserving your vision. The same care you've come to trust, now with a new name. To schedule your appointment today, call the Eye Associates, formerly Bow 9 Associates, Schneider Eye and Wellness Center, and Janet A. Betchkel, MD, at 296-0098.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, haven't given out the number yet. Let's do that. 641-1010 text. Brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also on YouTube, go to 1010XL Into the Night. 3525, what are some of the Walker Little's weaknesses? Strength would be number one for me. He also gets just flat out beaten around the edge. And yeah, I don't want to get ahead of myself. This is strictly an opinion, all right? But I wonder, is he one of those guys who really loves the game of football? You got to ask yourself that. It's a big part of this culture. He was a bulky draft pick. He was a bulky re-sign. Actually, was he a Caldwell? I'll have to look back on it. I think it was... Anyway, whatever it may be, one of the two. Bulky was in the building, if he, in fact, didn't pull the trigger on that actual draft pick. For what it's worth, I don't know that. I'm just thinking out loud here. There's still going to be some guys from the former regime who don't fall into that category. A lot of those guys are no longer here, right? You get rid of the Ray Robertson Harrises and guys that are very obvious. You get them out of here. We'll see what ends up happening, though. Walker Little, yeah, I haven't talked about that. We'll get to that coming up as well. Today, the rotation. You did have Anton Harrison at left tackle, and you had Walker Little over on the right side. And, you know, it's good if you look at Anton at left, but this is what's interesting to me. In my opinion, the worst football that Walker Little has played is right tackle. His best has been right guard. And I thought when Cam Robinson would go down and Little would come in, and if you look at what he was being paid, which was just a couple of million, and at that point Cam was making, $18 million or whatever it was like, is there really that much of a difference if you look at the price tag? And things have certainly changed. So anyway, that is that. All right, let's get to the second-year guy. Let's do it. BJ Green, caught up with him today after day 3 of Jaguars training camp. Training camp day number 3 at the Miller Electric Center, joined by second-year edge BJ Green. Good to see you again. How you been?
I'm good, man. How you been?
Man, I'm doing outstanding. I noticed after practice you just had a lengthy conversation with defensive coordinator Anthony Campanelli. Working on your craft?
Oh, yeah, of course. You always got to work on your craft. Like, I haven't arrived yet in the slightest, so any pointers and corrections that I can take and being consistent and making sure that I go out there and I make a difference every time I'm on the field, I'll take it. Like, any advice and any wisdom that they have for me, because they've been around great guys, I'm going to be there to listen. I'm going to be out there to really question them and ask what steps I need to take to get there.
Interesting. Let's get into your arrival. What do you mean by that? What do you got to do to, really be noticed?
I haven't played to my standards yet. I know who I can be, what I can do. I can go out there and I can make a difference out there. We got guys like Trey and Josh go out there making plays. Like, you don't just want to watch that. You want to be a part of that. So it's like, you got $200 million defensive ends. Why not me? So I'm going to go out there. I believe I'm one of those guys too. So I'm going to do whatever I got to do in my process to become one of those guys, one of those dudes. Like I said last year, I said in the previous conversations, like I sat next to D. Lloyd. I watched what his process was in becoming a Pro Bowl linebacker, an all-pro linebacker, and the meticulous and how intentional he was with the details. So that's really what I've been focused on.
Undrafted a year ago, and you obviously came out and made the team. Was there a point during camp when you knew you could play in this league and that you were going to be a part of this team?
I always knew that I could play a part of this team. It's just a matter of how to make that happen. It's never been like, I've never been a person that's going to second guess myself at all. It's just a matter of taking advantage of the opportunity when it presents itself. It's all about the process of just preparing yourself for any and all situations.
What an incredible opportunity for you. I mean, they absolutely need a third edge, and your name is obviously mentioned there. Just everything that goes into that mentally and, of course, physically as you prepare for the season.
Yeah, of course. And at the end of the day, like I've said a while back, it's just how can I make BJ Green better? It's not about like thinking about stuff like that, like going out there. Obviously, you want to be out there, you want to make a difference. You know what I'm saying? Like Trey and Josh, those are two like amazing mentors that I've had. I compete with those guys every day. I go up to Josh every day, like, listen, I'm playing better than you today. You're gonna have to figure out a way to stop me. So, like I said, I believe exactly who I'm going to be. I believe I can be one of those names in this league. So, it's just a matter of making sure and just being intentional with the process. Like it's all goes back to the same stuff. Like it's nothing extraordinary, bro. It's all about just being really, really, really detailed in the process of becoming who I want to be. Like it's always just been that and belief. So
well, you have the confidence, and yesterday Josh Allen spoke with us and was talking about you and just your relationship, how you're talking to one another and always saying a lot of things. He made a point yesterday about understanding how to look at the tape differently. What have you learned from a veteran like that when it comes to studying the position and how to get better by watching tape?
The thing about defensive end is like defense, you guys go out there, we can change the game at any moment. So you have to realize that the biggest thing that you have to watch is yourself, like what things that you need to correct. Like when I was in college, I would watch a lot of the opponents, like, okay, he does this, he does that, how can I take advantage of that? But when I got into the league, like most of the stuff I watched, Josh was watching himself. Like he still watches the other team, but at the end of the day, he watches himself the most. Because at the end of the day, when you play this position, you dictate the terms of interaction. So it's not a matter of, oh, how can I beat this guy with what he does? It's like he has to stop me. So once I had that mentality, I'm like, oh, like I'm not worried about what they do. At the end of the day, they got to stop BJ Green, and I'm not going to let them stop me. So something's got to give, and it's not me. So.
You ready for Monday? Pads going on?
Oh, for sure. Of course. Like, man, I've been itching for that for a while, a long time. So I'm happy to see how that goes.
Have a great camp. Thank you again.
Thank you, guys.
Be shells on Sunday, full pads on Monday. So that is the next couple of practices. And thereafter it all next week, including next weekend. I want to say Saturday's work is 11:30 to maybe 2 or 1. I don't know. I'll look at it. At least 1. At least 1:30 it would be. So starting to change some things around just a little bit. There you go. BJ Green II in year number 2 coming out of Colorado. Some people would tell me to ask about his threads. I guess he's a real sharp dresser. I don't do lengthy interviews with players there. There was a time we used to have them on the phone a lot and do stuff like that where you can expand it. But when I'm in the locker room after a game or, midweek practice prior to a game, or in this case, after off-season workouts, including now training camp, I try to keep the interviews about 2.5, 3, maybe 3.5 minutes tops. So I don't get into that type of stuff. But anyway, I enjoyed it. I hope you did as well. All right, let's start to get you involved with the program. I just answered the question on Walker Little. Yeah, he hasn't. It's hard to give a firm definition on anyone, including BJ Green, on the offense and defensive line until next Monday. And, it's kind of interesting because it feels like this practice, how do I want to say it? The 3 days of practice, it feels like there's been some physicality, even though there's no contact. Does that make any sense to you? Or are you like, Ballou, you are just way too sober? For crying out loud, everyone's left the building. Grab yourself a cocktail because you are making absolutely zero sense. Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? That it appears to be physical, even though there's no contact.
Right. That's actually something that I was shocked because I was down there and I was genuinely like, oh, okay, that guy, like, he got thrown, but it wasn't like, I wouldn't say half speed, but they're like going full speed. They're just in shorts.
Urban Meyer, I think, got fined for contact when there was not supposed to be contact. So I'm being absolutely careful about this, but you can notice it by watching these guys. And, I'd like to say it all settled in. I'd like to think that this is Liam Cohen and his staff, his coordinators, his position coaches. I think Baselli being there, arguably in his era, the best left tackle in the game, but a guy who was effort, man. He was an effort guy. And most great players are effort guys. Not all of them, okay? Most are. And I wonder if that has something to do with it, things that we don't see. I'm not talking about out on the practice field when he's there walking around with Gladstone. Shad Khan was in attendance today as well. But I'm talking about things that we don't see. Behind the scenes, in the classroom, in the hallways, in the cafeteria, no matter what it may be, when Baselli's around, you take notice. And again, these kids probably have to Google it and look it up because it was a long period of time ago. But that type of stuff gets around. And it's one thing to be great. It's another thing to be great, but also be a guy who worked incredibly hard. And that's one thing you see here with this Liam Cohen football team, man. These guys work hard. So, and is that the case with all 32 teams around the league? I don't know. I mean, they worked hard under Coughlin. And it was a totally different set of circumstances. It'd be real easy for me to sit here and say, well, they didn't work hard under Urban Meyer, or they didn't work hard under Gus Bradley. These guys are all going to work hard. They're also really good at their craft. And, they've given you 110% every play. I talked about Travis Hunter yesterday. I haven't even gotten into him. My gosh. Did I do a full hour of radio and not mention Travis Hunter? Ballou's got something against Travis Hunter. Ballou does. He did an hour on the home of the Jaguars and didn't even mention Travis Hunter. The guy came out and admitted that he put on 10 pounds and he's faster, and Ballou just ignored it. I mentioned yesterday about Travis Hunter. Blocking. The guy's playing offense, defense, switching jerseys, going back and forth, back and forth. You would think for a lot of combo players in the NFL that if you know it's a running play and the ball's going nowhere near you, that maybe you just drop off a little bit percentage-wise as far as your effort when it comes to blocking in a no-contact situation. Hell no. No way. And you could see it. And, that's a great sign, man. I don't think you can teach effort. I don't. I'm convinced, man, you got to find it. You either have it or you don't. You can fake it for a short period of time. If you don't have work ethic, you're never going to develop it. Okay? You either have it or you don't. Again, you can force it. and for a short period of time, pull off some tomfoolery. But in the long run, going to catch up with you. Much more to do. He is BJ Green. He is Jared Justice. I am Rick Ballou.
What's the deal with the show? The 1010XL Podcast Network is now available just about everywhere you find podcasts.
I mean, I think the show's going to be a huge hit.
Search for your favorite 1010XL podcast in your platform of choice.
Jaguars fans, grab your passport. Open and fund a new Everbank Performance account for your chance to win the Everbank London Getaway Experience. One winner gets round-trip airfare for 2, 4 nights hotel, and 2 tickets to the Jags game in London this October. Start your journey today at everbank.com/London. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the 50 United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry period from 6/29 to 8/27/26. Get official rules and details at everbank.com/London Rules. Sponsor and administrator, Everbank N.A. Member FDIC.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Lauren Brooks here. If you're like most of us at 1010XL, you have a list of things you want to get done before football season begins. Make an appointment today to check out Closets by Design's new showroom on Phillips Highway, especially the awesome man cave with a full bar. Closets by Design can customize the perfect entertainment space for you to gather for game days. Call 904-878-9393 to schedule your free in-home design consultation and get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and free installation, or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Hunting season in Northeast Florida is just around the corner, and Green Acres Sporting Goods has been serving Jacksonville hunters for over 55 years. And right now, you can lock in a summer deal on an AR-style 12-gauge shotgun for just $299. And while you're there, check out the largest archery pro shop in Northeast Florida and test shoot the newest bows by Hoyt and Matthews. Shop today at Green Acres Sporting Goods.
When your home or business deserves more than ordinary glass, you trust the experts. Capital Glass and Shower Doors has been elevating spaces for over 40 years with precision, craftsmanship, and clean, modern design. From sleek frameless shower enclosures to elegant glass railings, wine cabinets, and any custom glass that makes a statement, Capital Glass delivers unmatched quality, service, and attention to detail. Your vision, their expertise. Capital Glass and Shower Doors at capcoglass.com.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
When it comes to your home or business, experience matters. That's why every apprentice at Local 234, whether training in plumbing, pipe fitting, welding, or HVAC, must pass a rigorous county licensing exam before graduating. It's just one more way Local 234 ensures the next generation of skilled professionals is ready for the job. Before you hire anyone, ask if the work will be performed by a licensed journeyman. Local 234, make the right connection.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Instant Keys is turning 25. A quarter century of saving the day when your keys mysteriously vanish.
Seriously, it was just in my pocket.
Or when that remote fob decides to quit working.
The dealership is such a hassle.
For 25 years, Instant Keys has been the go-to locksmith service for car keys, house keys, transponders, re-keys, and even high-tech smart locks. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For honest, professional locksmith service, use Instant Keys.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
You know, it's a Friday night. when you got Huey Lewis in the news, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, to be young again, running and ripping. Just laying down the groundwork, getting the rejection, then moving on down the bar. It's like sales, people. Picking up women's like sales. You may hit 2 out of 10. But if you don't effort, you're going home alone. All right? I don't give advice, but keep trying. No some silly line. Make them laugh. Girls love a guy can make them laugh. I think it's very important. It is. Looks are cool, but, I mean, you really can't control your looks. I guess, if you're a dude, right? I mean, if you're a gal, you can Botox it up and do whatever you want. Get yourself a new set of lips. I love the young ladies out there, you know, working on, like, their 4th marriage, and they think the new set of lips is going to be the difference. Honey. It's you. Lips or no lips. All right, let's set the show this hour because I'm fired up for the weekend. Let me say this. Good work today. This was the best day so far for Trevor Lawrence. Our friend Ryan O'Halloran, 52 plays, 11 on 11, 9 plays, 7 out of 7. Saw it somewhere out there. Lawrence unofficially 11 for 19, 5 TDs, 1 pick. That interception was by Jarian Jones, and it was simply spectacular. I mean, it was as good as you've ever seen. Jumped the route, goal line situation. Jones would have 2 interceptions, 1 from Mullins, and as well as 2 pass breakups. Very encouraging today. Was a big-time practice for Jacoby Myers. That included a touchdown from Lawrence in the back of the end zone during goal line. Parker Washington is Parker Washington. He just makes plays every day. Brian Thomas Jr., great week, all right? Came out late yesterday. They practiced indoors. When they came outdoors, for those who were there, had a couple of big-time receptions, including a bomb for a TD, caught a couple of touchdowns today. And, you know, you listen to Liam Cohen and what he had to say about Brian Thomas Jr. Big, strong hands. He really raved about his route running today. Okay? And, you know, Liam Cohen's not a guy who's just going to throw something out there. He's going to tell you how he really does feel. So this was another one of his 2 touchdowns. Again, back of the end zone. Very nice play by Thomas. You know, the one misstep would be an overthrow. Thomas broke deep, got behind to contain, and Trevor Lawrence did overthrow him. Travis Hunter, as we just said, up 10 pounds and faster. You can really tell the difference. I was the one a year ago who asked him, at what weight do you want to play? And he looked right at me and said, I'll play at whatever weight the coach wants me to play at. And I've said it many times over. Those are the thinnest legs I had ever seen. He absolutely has worked hard in the weight room. And he also has changed his diet. He said he was a little nervous, or I forget what word he used about putting on this weight. But what, 22.6 miles per hour? I guess the fastest ever is Cheetah, who's over 23 miles per hour. He says he does want to get there. And, you know, he's listed at 185 pounds. I thought the best battle in camp, because I think there's a rotation at running back, right? And for what it's worth, Tootin has been as advertised, better than advertised. But I thought the best battle in camp would be Patrick McCarry and Wyatt Milam. And then I always give you the obligatory, well, it's hard to figure things out on the offensive line if you're not hitting. How can you really say that this offensive lineman's better than that offensive lineman? Again, if you're not in full contact. And thankfully this year, you're going to get a better assessment because of practices against New Orleans, Carolina, and twice against Tampa Bay. That's really going to help things out. Well, Patrick McCarry has been very limited. And Cohen spoke on that today. very positive things. And I'm paraphrasing here about he's a veteran, he's a pro's pro. We know what he can do. We're comfortable with it all. They're just bringing him along slowly as far as his reps, all right? Wyatt Milan's taking full advantage of it. You know, I raved about the body today of Parker Washington, the lower body. Yesterday, I came right out again, and I don't usually rate men's bodies, all right, as far as you know. But in this case, with Wyatt Milam yesterday, I absolutely had to. I mean, I just had to come out with it. Guy looked like a man. And again, I mean, what an unbelievable job that the strength and conditioning program has done with this football team. I mean, this is noticeable gain by a lot of football players, okay, across the board. And I think Milam's got a real chance to grab that right guard position. The back of my mind, now they drafted Milam. Okay, so that's a factor, but Macari was a high-priced free agent. And they rolled the dice here. Because if you look at what Macari did in Baltimore, he played all 5 offensive line positions. Do you realize the one position he played least in his NFL career was right guard? And that's where they plugged him in. It was a little bit of a Trent Baalke type of move. I'm actually surprised Baalke okayed Lawrence at quarterback. I thought, maybe he'd try to move him out to tight end or something along those lines. But Macari, that's a little bit of a surprise to me. I thought they'd let him go. I know he had some dead money, but I think this was a big investment. It's their job to identify and bring in players. So ego's involved here. Reputation is involved here with this new brass, who we brag about all the time. I think he gets every opportunity to win that job. Right now, Wyatt Milam, though, absolutely on his heels. All right, today, the flipping of the tackles. Anton Harrison work at left tackle. Walker Little work at right tackle. The way I read this is pro Harrison, not so necessarily anything at all to do with Little. I think Little's a far better left tackle than right tackle. I also think Little is clearly the third best tackle behind a healthy Cole Van Lanen, who we saw work yesterday. I'm not going to get into any of his rehabilitation out of respect for the Jaguars, but I'll just say it looked very, very good. And John Osher on Wednesday night told us he did think he would be back for the opener on September 13th against Cleveland. After seeing Van Lanen on Thursday, I agree. And obviously Anton over at the right side. But, extensive work there today, which was pretty cool. Branson Combs. I mean, all of a sudden, here's a guy, all right? And to me, that's what he's been, a guy, right? We talk about these training camp guys, and they kind of fizzle out. Well, he is very athletic, man. He had an interception today on a Nick Mullins ball where he was absolutely, totally in goal line, fully extended in the end zone, came down with the ball and took it up the other side. This may be the best. Now, we're going to get a much better understanding here when they start popping, when they start hitting. I've said since day one, Ventrell Miller to me looks like he is playing downhill. He is running right to where the ball carrier is, and he's there. It's almost as if he knows the play that is being called. He also had a couple of pass breakups today. He's been playing some really good football. Branson Combs, though, is absolutely a guy who's on this team. No doubt about it. And, he's making plays as well. So I think that's basically, for the most part, where I do want to go at this particular time. Liam Cohen did talk about first 3 days of practice has basically been a 3-to-1 run to pass ratio. I did talk with Anton Harrison about that after Thursday's practice, the emphasis on running the football. I think that is what this is all about. Okay, if they can run the football, it'll absolutely just make this offense even more potent, and you're coming off of a franchise record-setting year offensively. Some things today with the screen game look good. Not going to diagram those screens for you, what type of screens they were, but, that was deficient a year ago. That was really under par. And, I don't know why they say under par. Under par is good, right? Over par is bad. But when you say it in that context, it's the exact opposite. I wonder how that all came about. Nonetheless, that looked promising today. Also, it was stated that Grant Udinski is going to call plays during the preseason. He did during the final preseason game a year ago. He is going to do that this year, the entire preseason. Travis Tracker, day 3, 15 snaps, 8 on defense, 7 on offense through 3 practices. This is according to Mike Duraco, ESPN. 39 snaps, 24 on defense, 15 on offense. All right, let's grab some feedback from you. 6401 1010. Let's see here. Ballou, who would you add as an edge? I'm adding a veteran. They tried a year ago with Dewan Smoot. It didn't work. They tried a year ago with Emmanuel Ogba. It didn't work. Joey Bosa's out there. Jadeveon Clowney is out there. Hassan Reddick is out there. You got to check the market. You see what? Dabo Samuel signed yesterday for like $7 million. What's the asking price for one of these guys? Now, what you got to be careful about here is that are other teams interested? Obviously, the Jaguars are talking to the agents who represent these players. What are agents good at? They're lawyers. They're freaking liars. They can tell you that there are 9 teams that are interested right now in Joey Bosa. Okay? That might not be the case. You got to know when to pick your spots. You got to know when to test the market. You also have to look at some of these freak injuries. Look at what we've seen so far in Carolina and Cincinnati with guys who can get to the quarterback. They've already gone down. That all of a sudden lifts the market for that particular team. Jacksonville's doing their best to say, we're fine. We don't need a guy. We don't need a player. Okay? I still think they add one. Those are 3 names. There's others that are out there. But, I think that is going to happen here in the month of August. 35-25. Ballou, any surprise cuts you could see coming? Perhaps a young one replacing a vet. Yeah, linebacker. Yeah, I think this is probably it for Yasir Abdullah. Okay, even though they're banged up with Kaiser, yeah, I think they're going younger there. Offensive line, I think this is the end of the road for Chuma Edoga. Okay. I have the utmost respect, and I'm watching him today. Actually, wear sweatpants out there. The guy's been in the league for 12 years, but I look at the kid out of Nebraska. He's no longer a kid, Amir Abdullah. And every time I look at Abdullah, my mind strictly goes to the kick return game. Because you should not want Bashal Tutin returning kicks. He's going to be your starter. Is he going to be your bell cow? Well, he's going to have to earn that. But I don't want, this is the way that my mind works. I don't want Parker Washington returning punts, and I don't want Bashal Tutin returning kicks. That's just me. Okay? Now, coaches think differently. We already know that Parker Washington is, without any question, going to return some punts. But maybe it's less punts. Maybe if Jacksonville's up by a couple of scores in the second half, you say, you know what? Let's bring Cameron out and see what he can do. Let's keep Parker, because Parker has a history of getting dinged during games. Bashal Tootin, if he's going to be your starting running back, and hopefully he's north of 15 carries a game, I don't want him returning kicks. So there's Amir Abdullah. But Jamari Taylor's faster. Jamari Taylor's younger. I read the 53 that, members of the Jaguars media put together. I'll probably do one of those in a week or so. I'll certainly do it before August 30th and cut day. But I keep seeing 3 backs and only 3 backs, right? The obvious ones. Rodriguez Jr., who continues to look better, a little bit more advanced today with his work. Again, no teamwork, just individual work, but taking handoffs, doing drills and taking handoffs. Tootin and Allen Jr. I think they're going to keep a 4th back. I think it's going to be Jamari Taylor. I think he's looked better than Abdullah. I think he's looked better than DJ Dallas. They may feel, all right, well, let's try to bury him on the practice squad. The way those rules work, of course, another team immediately can put him on the practice squad once you get into the regular season. If you snatch a guy off the practice squad, you have to put him on your active roster for at least 3 weeks. So that could be a bury job here. Maybe best case scenario is a toe popper for Jamari Taylor. You put some of that J-Wrap on it, right? You put a little ice on it, and you say, Jamari, sit out for a month, and then put him on the practice squad, all right? I'm just thinking out loud here. But, that's probably it. Very little opportunity, in my opinion, for Hunter Long at tight end. That's probably where I want to go. They are going to have to make a move when you get to the Matt Dickerson, Danny Strigow type of situation, right? Is Zach Durfee going to make this team? Wesley Williams is. Albert Regis is. 2 draft picks. We talk of B.J. Green the second. He is. I am absolutely under the impression that Danny Strigow will make this team. Kind of feels like maybe the odd man out right now there is Matt Dickerson. But time will tell. All right, let's grab more. Let's grab more of your questions on the other side. I also want to go through a kind of a brief good and bad. Much more on the good than the bad. I'll tell you that straight up. That's coming up on the other side.
The station with the best Jaguars coverage. When Jag News breaks, hear it first on 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Neck pain, back pain, headache, Shinatri Chiropractic, Westside 103rd, River City Marketplace, Riverside, Arlington, and the Beaches. Acupuncture, dry needling, physical therapy. Relief starts today. Shinatri Chiropractic, 743-6700.
Hi, this is Dale Murray with Murray Automotive Group in Stark and Kingsland. Save yourself from those big city dealers and their fast-talking mumbo-jumbo. No matter what your automotive need is, we've got you covered. Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and nobody beats our prices. I mean nobody. Shazam! Plus our exclusive 15-year, 150,000-mile warranty included on every qualified vehicle. And we'll trade anything from high heels to wagon wheels. Compare our prices online at ShazamAuto.com. Then come see me, Dale Murray. I'll be waiting for you. Shazam!
Life happens every day, and sometimes it gets in the way. That's why 1010XL makes it easy to listen to your favorites. If you missed it, get it on demand.
At 1010XL.com.
Channeled by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. Now's the perfect time to order logo coffee mugs, or maybe a logoed Sick brand tumbler. They're seriously ice cold and look great with your company logo. HardballCreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Guys, I got the perfect place to eat after work.
No way, Jose!
It's got the perfect tacos and margaritas.
No way, Jose!
Grab the crew, get your favorite drink, enjoy great Mexican food at the restaurant everybody's talking about.
No way, Jose!
San Jose and Bay Meadows.
Hey, I'm Matt Lennon with AB Signs. If you own a business but your vehicle, your storefront, or job sites aren't promoting that name, who's getting your next customer? At AB Signs, we'll help your business stand out with custom vehicle graphics, signs, banners, and decals. Whether you're starting new or upgrading your image, we'll make sure your business gets noticed. Before you order from an online merchant, call local. Call Matt at AB Signs, and let's put your business to work.
This August, experience David Bowie like never before with the Jacksonville Rock Orchestra at Florida Theater. Hear the unforgettable songs that made David Bowie a legend. A 27-piece symphony orchestra joined by a full rock band changes the music of David Bowie. Saturday, August 8th at Florida Theater. Get your tickets now at floridatheater.com.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional, and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296, Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429, Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
Feel a vibration in your steering wheel at highway speeds? That's not something to ignore, and a standard tire balance might not fix it. At G&H Tires and Service, they offer Road Force Balancing, an advanced system that simulates how your tire actually performs on the road to detect hidden issues. It goes beyond traditional balancing to reduce vibration, improve handling, and extend the life of your tires. Newer vehicles, especially with low-profile tires, demand this level of precision. Drive smoother. G&H Tires and Service on Beach Boulevard, where your ride gets dialed in right.
Tired of changing out bad sod year after year? Get it done right with Roundtree Sod. Big or small, they have it, and always supplied farm fresh. For a lush, legendary green lawn, call 7414-SOD for a free estimate. 7414-SOD.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
No place I'd rather be than Bowden Road. Right here inside the plush studios of 92.5 FM. However, the Blue Crab House sounds pretty good. My goodness, man. Best Bloody Marys in town. What time is it? 7:21. All right, it's past Bloody Mary time. But best crabs in town, no question about it. Open till 9. Check them out. They are, and they have $2.50 Bloody Marys on Sunday. And mimosas. Right off of San Jose there on Julington Creek Road. Someone asked me about what does chowd mean. And they reference another word that is close to chowd, which I'm not going to mention on these airwaves because I'm just not going to do it. Chowd is short for chowderhead. Us Bostonians at times are called chowderheads. All right, let's give you some good and bad. And let's do that right. I mean, never mind. Let's get straight to it. All right, let's start with the good, the wide receivers as a core. I mean, just phenomenal. Okay, Myers responded today after a little bit of a slow start Wednesday and Thursday. Parker Washington, arguably the best player in camp. Brian Thomas Jr. has picked up right where he left off during OTAs and during voluntary and mandatory minicamp. All right? You add both rookies. My goodness, is Josh Cameron put together. I mean, this does not look like a 21-year-old. You talk about a physical guy. He looks like he could be a defensive end. He looks like he could be a tight end. And he's done some really nice, made some big-time plays. C.J. Williams as well. Made another huge grab today. Sliding catch. So I'm going to start with the wide receivers. Also the good, Bayshell Tootin. Just hitting the holes. The vision, the ability to break away. That 3.7 yards per a year ago. I think is such a misrepresentation of what he can be all about. I firmly believe that he's a guy that needs to get lathered up. All right? Remember when Derrick Henry came in the league, and I'm trying to remember who the scat back was out in Tennessee, but it took, and even at Alabama, you had the TJ Yeldons and whoever it was back then and I'm not comparing him to Henry because Henry's one of the greatest that we've ever seen. He's an automatic first ballot Hall of Famer. But there's a guy right there that you just want to keep feeding the football to. And he's going to get better as things get, progress throughout the game. I really think that's the deal for Tootin. His longest carry in the regular season was 15 yards again. He's going to break some this season. And, off to a really good start. Really don't want to comment much on the offensive line because they're not in pads. Okay? So I'm going to leave it with that. And then, we've noticed certainly Tanner Koziel so far as a pass-catching tight end. Borkircher had his first reception today. He's been kind of on a milk carton. And I'm not going to say that he's bad, put him on the bad because, again, he's there to do what? He's there to block. And that part of it hasn't come into play. It's good at the defense. No doubt about it, man. Those two linebackers, Ventrell and Combs, wow. I mean, just really creating havoc. If I was to line up 4 beat writers here, they would all say Josh Hines, Allen, and Trayvon Walker. And I think that is fair. I do. Again, I pump the brakes a little bit on that stuff because they're not hitting. So next week when I do this, we'll be in much more depth. Jarian Jones, absolutely. Absolutely. Phenomenal day today. 2 picks, 2 pass breakups. Jabbar Muhammad is getting picked on, but he's holding his own. Tell you what, they're going to have plenty of film to review when it comes down to whether or not Jabbar Muhammad makes the 53. If not, he's obviously, maybe their number 1 practice squad guy. I think he's going to make this team. He's given up a couple of plays, given up some touchdowns. He's also responded by making a lot of plays. Okay? So there's a guy that I got a list as well. I think that's where I'll keep it at this particular time as far as the good. And again, for the most part, they've all been good. The bad is hard to get to. All right? I'm going to, if I had done this last night, I absolutely would have said Jacoby Myers. But again, practice number 3 was his best practice yet. And that's encouraging. I have to say Patrick McCarry because he's not able to fight for his job. I mean, even though we're in an era where everyone wins and everyone gets a trophy, kind of the old rule in big-time college football in the NFL, brother, if you can't play and you are hurt, you're letting someone else take your position. You don't believe me? Read the late Lou Holtz's, or the book on Lou Holtz by Looney. And, God, who's my buddy over in Tallahassee? I can't even think of him. Wrote the Reggie Bush book, wrote the Warwick Dunn Bush. Yeager, my buddy Yeager. Don Yeager over in God's Country on Lou Holtz, Under the Tarnished Dome. Incredible book, okay? I played golf 2 years ago with Greg Huntington, and I'll say this. An unnamed former All-American at Notre Dame who was selected in the first round and had a lengthy NFL career. He told me he got hurt during his junior season. Lou Holtz did not talk to him the remainder of his junior season or during his senior season. Okay. Granny, Lou Holtz, weighed 145 pounds. If you couldn't play, if you were hurt, he had no use for you. So I'm going to put Macari into that category right now because he's not able to get out there. Nick Mullins has not dazzled. He's thrown a lot of picks. And I don't want to spend ample time on a backup quarterback because where I am at this position, if you go to your backup quarterback, you're not going anywhere. And you can Jeff Hostetler me, you can Earl Morrill me back in Super Bowl, 3, the Miami Dolphins, Bob Greasy here. You can do anything, but no. I know that Nick Foles and Doug Peterson won it with a backup. But that's been a little bit disappointing as well. I don't know what they're going to do. My guess is they keep him around. He's a good teammate. He knows this system. He's perfect for Trevor. But can you make the case that some of the younger QBs are better? Perhaps. Okay, you want to respond to that? You can. We are going to, throughout the remainder of the program, grab your questions on the Jaguars. 641-1010 if you'd like to join us. That is the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also on YouTube, you can join us. Go to 1010XL into the night.
I'm Paul Posluszny, and you're listening to the best Jaguars coverage in Jacksonville on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
An accident with a big truck can change everything in a matter of seconds. Medical bills start piling up, you're missing work, and the trucking company's lawyers, they get to work immediately. That's why you need a law firm that moves just as fast. I'm Chris Campione, and at Campione Law, we fight for truck accident victims, digging into the details and holding negligent drivers and their trucking companies accountable. We don't get paid unless you do. Big trucks have big lawyers. You need a stronger fighter. Campione Law. Visit CampioneLaw.com. Offices, Jacksonville and St. Augustine.
It feels like every home services company in Jacksonville has been bought out by some big out-of-town firm, but not Superior Plumbing and Pipelining. We're still locally owned, still right here in Northeast Florida. That means no call centers and no corporate runaround when you call Superior Plumbing and Pipelining. Just experienced pros who live here, work here, and stand behind every job. From simple leaks to full pipe relining, you're getting real solutions from a team that actually cares about the community we all live and work in. Make the superior choice when you need a plumber. Request an estimate at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
Get geared up for your golf weekend with Dan, Jeff, and PGA pros on Brunch with the Tour.
Expect anything different?
Tuesday morning at 8:30. Teed up by North Florida Medical Centers and Clearwater Irrigation on 1010XL.
Elbow pain, whether acute or chronic, can make it difficult to do normal activities like playing sports, doing household chores, or even sleeping comfortably. Dr. George Barr here, and no one wants to deal with pain without solutions on how to feel better. We've all heard of tennis and golfer's elbow, but there's plenty more that can cause pain, like osteoarthritis, muscle tears, and nerve entrapment. All are treatable at Barr Orthopedics. Getting you back to full health is our mission, and there's a number of different treatment options we can offer. Call us today or visit barrorthopedics.com.
Northeast Florida's highest-rated residential home electrical contractor is American Electrical, providing unsurpassed quality in Duval, St. Johns, Clay, and Nassau counties. No matter your electrical problem or project, large or small, American Electrical will get it done at a price that's right. High-quality electrician, that's who they are. Trust a company that's been on the First Coast for decades, proudly serving the community while being a big part of the community. Call American Electrical for all your electric needs at 737-7770. Wired right at a fair price.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-791-0000. That's 800-791-0000.
If you're getting estimates for replacement windows, do yourself a favor. Get one more. Prosser here. I did, and I was blown away. Cash Building Materials' local team is so experienced, and they know exactly what works for Jacksonville homes at a surprising price. You owe it to yourself to see what they can do before making a decision. Before you buy windows or doors, get a cash quote. Search Cash Building Material. Cash Building Material. Windows and doors done right.
Tom McManus here for Armstrong Fence Company, a locally owned First Coast business for nearly 20 years.
Hurricane season is here. Don't wait for the first storm warning. Your fence is your first line of defense. Loose boards, weak posts, or damage can turn into big problems when high winds come around. Armstrong Fence Company handles repairs and builds from stadiums to backyards. Get a pre-storm fence check today. Call Armstrong Fence Company or search online. Armstrong Fence Company. Yeah, we did the fence.
Picken here. See clearly with the Eye Associates and trusted optometrists Zachary Boskool and Alice LaFlamme. From comprehensive eye exams, dry eye care, glaucoma management, diabetic eye care, and more, Dr. Boskool and Dr. LaFlamme are dedicated to protecting your vision. Immediate availability at all 5 Jacksonville locations. Schedule today with Dr. Boskool and Dr. LaFlamme by calling the Eye Associates, formerly Bowden Eye Associates, Schneider Eye and Wellness Center, and Janet Betchkel, MD at 296-0098.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, random fire. Let's grab some of your questions. Again, Jags off tomorrow, back at it Sunday morning. They'll be in shells and then full pads on Monday. 3,800 Ballou. Would you say that Jerry and Jones come back from the Saquon Barkley hurdle has been fair, good, great, or tremendous? Oh, you're talking about Jari and Jai. I'm guessing you said that with your voice, and it spelled it differently. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's always going to be posterized. And he always has big-time camps. I mean, that in itself is a very good story because he was left for nothing. You know, if you want to go to like Pro Football Reference or whatever and look at weekly snap counts and get to the middle of the season and look at where Jarian Jones barely played. And then he had the injury and he came back in. He had the injury to, Lewis. And he ended up playing very good football inside the, inside the slot. No question about it. 95.99 Ballou, good to see you today. I won the autograph session today. Oh, my God. He shows a picture of him with Travis Hunter. Absolutely phenomenal day. Good for you. Congratulations. It's a beautiful day out there today. It wasn't nearly as hot as it's going to be. 23.89. I think it's safe to say that along with the referees being able to be bought, Tom Brady is definitely an example that looks can definitely be changed as long as you have enough money. That's a fair point. I mean, he's kind of pudgy coming out of Michigan. You can tell Brady loved the beer at Michigan. You know, now he won't put anything in his body. And yeah, it's like his cheeks have kind of sunken in. I'm going to subscribe to this. Not only do I believe that men like myself, we get better looking the older we are, okay? Some of us also look good fat. All you people just jamming needles into your arms. You're just stuffing them in there and you're losing weight. Some of you are losing too much weight, and I'm seeing skin. All right, as long as your blood pressure is down, get your cholesterol down, take the pills. I think looking fat is good. Remember, centuries ago, being fat was like being proud, right? I mean, the wealthy were fat. What did the wealthy do? They ate with both hands, kind of like Rosie O'Donnell. Never would use a utensil. 7094, Ballou, his calves are the biggest calves on planet Earth. Was Ransaw full go? He is. Caleb Ransaw's been totally full go. And I want to tell you right there's big-time speed. Phenomenal speed for Caleb Ransaw. He went down yesterday and he got up. He missed a little bit of time. And I know that's nerve-wracking. Ventrell Miller went down a little bit yesterday as well. And, that's unfortunately a big part of his history, avoiding the injuries. Makes a great deal of difference, when you were able to to do that. 3525 is apparently watching me on YouTube or whatever because he's commenting about a certain part of my body. Okay? I'll call it the chest. He calls it something else. Hey, Ballou, how about Tom Brady? Yeah, we're getting all these Brady ones in now. And, if you're Brady, why? Why do it? I understand that women want to look certain ways. I get that. But dudes? The next time I care about what an other dude thinks about me and the way that I look will be the first time, right? A woman's different. You care what a woman thinks about you. But I've been locked in for 17 years. We're getting all the Rosie O'Donnell feedback now, plus Ozempic feedback, 50-46. The Ozempic look is terrible. Looks like they could star in Walking Dead. It's not going to be too long from now. Actually, let me take a break. We'll come back and do that. I'm way behind. I just am. And sometimes I just got to learn to shut up. But there's a lot of good stuff happening tonight. No doubt about it. Jags playing well. If I remember this on the other side, I'll get to it.
It's hard to explain, but play-by-play just sounds better on the radio.
What a turn of events!
1010XL, Jacksonville's home for play-by-play.
Celebrate the month of July with Zero Res and get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $129 and take $75 off air duct cleaning as well. Hickett here. Book online at ZeroResJacksonville.com. Take advantage of the savings.
Checkmate. I'm Braden Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, the Checkmate King.
The 2 most important factors behind a great garage floor coating are the preparation and the application.
So we prepare every floor with high-performance diamond grinding pads. But just ugly diamonds, right, Brendan? If we find any nice ones, I could use some crown jewels.
Sorry, Chester. Our special grinding pads use diamonds that are too ugly for jewelry.
But they create the perfect surface to bind with our multi-layer polymer coating for years of durable performance.
You'll have to pick out jewelry on your own time, Your Highness.
The term is Your Majesty, Brendan, but I'll let it go this time.
Perfect preparation?
Check. Expert application?
Check. A gorgeous new floor that sparkles like a diamond in your garage? Checkmate!
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit CheckmateCoatings.com. That's CheckmateCoatings.com.
Everybody loves what's happening at Beard's Diamonds this month. Up to 40% off store-wide at their annual Christmas and July sale. But you need to hurry. The event ends at the end of the month. Hurry in to see all the amazing deals, up to 40% off, and that includes engagement rings, fashion rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, pendants. This is the annual store-wide sale that everybody loves because you get December prices like Christmas. If you're getting engaged this summer, now's your chance to get a bigger, better quality diamond. Or maybe it's time to treat yourself to a fabulous fashion ring, necklace, or bracelet. Don't forget, Beard's is the town center's locally owned diamond superstore. Say hi to the Lupos when you go in. Don't settle for the corporate chain store experience when you can get the value, service, and attention you deserve. Don't miss Christmas in July exclusively at Beard's Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center. I say shop local, shop Beard's Diamonds. Hurry, though, the offer ends at the end of July and will not be extended. Beard's Diamonds.
UFC Fight Night is back, and the only place to catch every punch, kick, and every knockout full-on sports lodge glory is Twin Peaks. E.T. here. Settle in with scratch-made favorites, legendary wings, and 29-degree beer that hits colder than heavyweight takedowns. With wall-to-wall TVs, you won't miss a single moment of action. Grab your crew and make it a fight night to remember. Twin Peaks. Eat, drinks, scenic views.
With 50 years of fabrication expertise and towing products, the family at Cannons of Jacksonville can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the Monaghan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
Day 3 at the Miller Electric Center. Another good one for the Jaguars today. The pass offense did some nice things. 5 touchdown passes for Trevor Lawrence through a couple to Brian Thomas Jr. Parker Washington continues to be just as advertised. And the most encouraging thing, Jacoby Myers, a very good practice today after some drops on Wednesday and Thursday. Branson Combs on defense. Wow. Really, really impressive. As was Ventrell Miller. The star of the day, Jarian Jones. 2 picks, one off of Trevor, jumped a route at goal line. Man, it was a big-time play. The other pick was off of Mullins. Also had a couple of pass breakups. 40-56. Hey, Rick, can you see a difference in Travis Hunter's size being down there, seeing him up close? No doubt. He says he's up 10 pounds. I bet if it was last year at this time, when I asked him that question about what weight do you want to play, and he looked right at it, it was the greatest answer ever. He's like, whatever coach wants you to be at. I swear, I want to say he weighed 165 pounds. They say he's 185 now. They say he put on 10 pounds, but remember, he's been out since week 7. So I think he put on more. It looks that way to me. The chest, the arms, and certainly the legs. Those are the thinnest legs I'd ever seen. 50 years ago, no one was fat. Only Rosie O'Donnell. That's not nice. 0148. That's not nice. That's not nice. 0505 Blue. Curious, when are you interviewing team members weekly? Is it poor etiquette to ask for autographs with you guys to have a good report with the show? Yes, it is. It is absolutely not allowed. Now, as we head to this break, final one of the night, and then bring in Hacker Nation. Long, long time ago, right, in the early 90s, when Bobby Bowden gave me full keys to his program, when I did the first ever Randy Moss in-studio interview, when the Warwick Dunns and the Derek Brooks, and they all came in. By the way, Shade Tree, Marvin Jones in town. Love him. Tulsa plays the Jacksonville Sharks tomorrow, and I wish I could get with Marvin and have a cigar. But final night in town for my girlfriend's 7-year-old who's flying to Dallas tomorrow. I had a big Seminole poster hanging on the door, and the Peter Boulwares, Andre Wadsworth, and Renard Wilson, you name it, they signed it. But that was a little kid then. I was 22, 23. I didn't know any better. And also, they came in the studio. It's not like I went into the locker room and did it. No, you cannot. I get asked quite a bit. Can you give me this autograph? Can you get me that autograph? I cannot. That is unethical. So, anyway, appreciate you asking the question. All right, Hacker Nation is all fired up. My goodness, I saw him today on the sideline. He was ready to go. He's coming up at 8 o'clock. We still have much more to do on Into the Night.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
I used to feel anxious every time I needed a dentist. Long waits, surprise bills. It was exhausting, especially as a busy mom. After searching for a dentist I can trust, I found Harbor Dental Care. They got me in right away, treated me with kindness, and helped me set up a payment plan that fit my family's budget. If you want a dental home you can trust, book your visit at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
Ballou here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Here you can see.
Hey friends, Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Have you ever stored a gallon of leftover paint, opened the can years later, and it's rusty, crusty, and unusable? Next time, secure the lid tightly to ensure no leaks and store the can upside down. Oxygen can't get to it, therefore no rust and no crust. If you'd like more tips or have a question about a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance painting.
What was the name of Van Morrison's first band? The answer coming up.
When your homeowner's insurance policy is up for renewal, it's a good idea to shop around to find a better plan. Southern Oak Insurance for over 20 years provides Floridians a clear option. SouthernOak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Van Morrison's first band was called Them.
Southern Oak Insurance, our family protecting yours.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. If you have a school, team, or group that would benefit from a team store, you're in luck because we now offer team stores. Check us out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
At the Y, there's no place like this place. More than just a gym, the YMCA is a community where support, connection, and your well-being come first. And now, getting started is easier than ever with Your Rate, an income-based, affordable membership designed to fit your lifestyle and your budget so you can focus on what really matters, feeling better, moving more, and connecting with others. Join today and discover a place where you truly belong. Learn more about Your Rate at fcymca.org.
For every special occasion, Kuhn Flowers can deliver a beautiful floral arrangement with a click, a call, or a visit to one of their beautiful showrooms. This is Frank Frangie. When you need to show someone you love, choose Kuhn.
I'm Matt Lennon with AB Signs. Every day, your company vehicle is on the road. Is it bringing you customers? I turn trucks, trailers, and storefronts into powerful advertising. Make your business impossible to miss with AB Signs.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnik. Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
All right, Friday night, time for Hacker Nation, day 3. Good to be outdoors for the entire practice today, which went 2 hours.
Yeah, look, I thought there was a lot of good things that happened. And now, you know, if there's like a preseason of training camp, we've had that. Sunday, the shells come on. And then Monday, the full pads come on. Now it starts to get real. You know, you go through the motions, the walkthroughs, and there was some good work today. Don't get me wrong, and good work this week. But once the popping starts happening, you'll see a little of that on Sunday in shells, and then obviously full pads on Monday. We're going to start getting a pretty good grasp about the physicality of this football team.
Had a conversation last night about Jacoby Myers and wondering, could this start to head the way of what we saw a year ago with Brian Thomas Jr.? His best practice was today, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I heard you talk about that. I mentioned it as well, and I think he obviously must have listened to the primetime slot on 1010XL between end of the night and Hacker After Dark, because obviously we motivated Jacoby Myers. It was his best day. Parker Washington continues to make plays. I thought Brian Thomas Jr., that catch in the back of the end zone today was sensational. I took a picture of them standing together, the three of them, Washington, Myers, and Thomas. Is there a better wide receiver trio in the National Football League? I don't know. I think they're certainly in the conversation. And that doesn't even take into account Travis Hunter. You go in a 4 wide receiver set, my goodness, the weapons this team has.
Yeah, and both rookies look good. Now, we see that often. Then pads go on. They hit a rookie wall, so I don't want to, put the cart ahead of the horse. But, it's a fair – Parker Washington has been nearly flawless in 3 practices.
Yeah, Parker Washington's been great. And I'm going to talk about this. You know, one of the talking points we all mentioned was the Branson Combs, Ventrell Miller battle in training camp. And, boy, it's lived up to it. I can't wait till the pads go on. I think both of those guys have looked very, very good. You can sense the competition. They know it's kind of mano-y-mano for that Devin Lloyd spot. and both guys are out there making plays.
Yeah, I watched a lot of that end zone work today with Mark Duffner, of course, coach of linebackers, and yeah, a lot of interesting things to say. But, it all changes again when pads go on, certainly at that position. Okay, so what else you got going on tonight?
Yeah, Caleb Ransaw is my Jaguar training camp one-on-one. I caught up with Ransaw after practice today. You'll hear that conversation tonight. Also, Luke Easterling of Athlon Sports. Luke had a big part in putting the Athlon preseason NFL magazine together. He had a lot of articles in there that's on newsstands now. He will also join us this evening.
Is the intern Kyle? Kyle, what's your last name? I'm sorry.
Markowitz.
Kyle Markowitz. Are you going to be working with Hacker Nation, or are you
Not
time
tonight.
for you to get home and do some running and ripping? Or?
Yeah, time for me to get home.
I got blessed with an intern today, Kyle Markowitz.
Kyle Markowitz is making it happen. I exchanged a fist pound with Kyle Markowitz last night. It was the highlight of my Thursday.
Was it similar to the fist pound of Jacksonville and Strawberry the Shortcake Man?
The high five between Jacksonville and Strawberry Shortcake Clown, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the top 10 moments in 1010XL history.
I think that was like in our first couple of months.
It was so good.
It's Tom Champion with a live report.
It's like, I could confirm that there was a high five between Strawberry the Shortcake Clown and Jackson DeVille.
Who reportedly, Strawberry the Shortcake Clown apparently had some serious ups.
That's what I heard, yeah.
I mean, that wasn't a high five with a couple stubby guys on the ground. I mean, we were talking to these guys, vapor.
Unfortunately, there was no streaming back then, because I would have loved to have captured our reactions to that.
All right, buddy. Have a great show.
Thanks, Rick.
All right, that's going to do it. Kyle Markowitz. Am I saying that right? I hope I am.
You 100% are.
All right. What's my normal producer's name? Jared. It's with an E. Justice, thank you. Thank you to PJ Green. Enjoyed that. Hopefully you did as well. Hey, folks, have a safe weekend, okay? If you're drinking, that's always a good thing. Just please do not drive. Jags off tomorrow. Back out there early at the Miller Electric Center. On Sunday, I'm talking with Parker Washington on Sunday. So I already look forward to that interview. He's had a great camp, no doubt about it. I am Rick Ballou. Have a great weekend. We'll talk Monday at 6 o'clock.